Prosecutor speed not important in Michael Schumacher ski accident. CNN. A French prosecutor investigating a ski accident in which former world champion racing driver Michael Schumacher was seriously injured said Wednesday that speed was not an important factor. Schumacher has been in a medically induced coma for the past 10 days and has undergone 2 surgeries since the December 29th accident. His doctors say he is in stable but critical condition. Prosecutor Patrick Quincy, speaking at a news conference in Albertville, said the investigation had made progress but could still take several weeks to complete. Speed is not a particularly important element for us in that inquiry, he said. Police investigators Stephen Boson said it was not possible to estimate Schumacher's speed in terms of kilometers per hour, but this was the speed of a very good skier on a slope which was not very steep. Another investigator, Bernard Feynman, said Schumacher was traveling at a normal speed for an experienced skier. Quincy ruled out problems with Schumacher's skis, which he said were almost new. The piste, or ski run, also appeared to be correctly marked according to French standards, he said. Family asked media for privacy. Schumacher had a rock hidden beneath the snow while skiing in an area between 2 marked pistes, the prosecutor said, which catapulted him face first onto another rock. Schumacher ended up 9 meters 30 feet from the edge of the piste, he said. Investigators have begun studying footage filmed on a small camera attached to Schumacher's helmet, but further analysis is needed, Quincy said. The video is only 2 minutes long and has a very limited field of vision, he said. He said experts may be able to use it to determine Schumacher's precise position in relation to the age of the piste and possibly the speed at which he was traveling at the time of the accident. Why induced comas help injured brains? Investigators are talking to family members, witnesses, and others in connection with the Schumacher's inquiry, he said. The investigation is no different from those carried out in other serious accidents on the slopes. Quincy added, there are about 50 such a year in the Albertville area, he said. Schumacher is a formidable figure in Formula One, and his plight has attracted global interest and an outpouring of support from the sports fans. However, his family wants the media to keep its distance and appealed Tuesday for privacy. Please support us in our common fight with Michael, Karina Schumacher, the wife of the race car driver, said in a statement. It is important to me that you relieve the doctor and the hospital so that they can work in peace. I kindly ask you to trust their statements and leave the clinic. Please also let our family in peace. Schumacher is the most successful driver in Formula One history, driving for the Benetton and Ferrari teams and claiming a record 7 world titles and 91 Grand Prix wins. Give Dennis Rodman a break. Editor's notes. Andre Abrahamian is a contributor to 38 North and executive director of Chilson Exchange, a non-profit that provides educational training in business and economics for young North Koreans. Follow him on Twitter. CNN. This week, we've been treated to the increasingly familiar sight of former NBA star and provocateur Dennis Rodman attending events in Pyongyang, North Korea. It's his first trip in less than 12 months. On Tuesday, an angry Rodman defended his visit in a CNN interview straight from Pyongyang, at one point saying to New Day anchor Chris Cuomo, "I don't give a rat ass what the hell you think," in response to question about Kenny Bae, an American detained in North Korea. "When will we tire of this circus?" In case you don't watch cable news, you might miss that the media really loves this kind of thing. No story about North Korea is too weird to go unreported, even if there is no real information to disseminate. Recall the recent rumor that Kim Jong-un's uncle was executed by being fed to hungry dogs, which most likely was started as satire on Chinese social media, but was at first reported widely in the media. CNN was unable to confirm and did not report the story. In media discourse, North Korea is the classic enemy. The region's injustices, curse, and dysfunctions are reassuring to Americans that their own country is just the opposite. Normal, well-functioning, a land of peace and liberty. But add in Rodman to the North Korea story, and it's bound to produce eye-popping headlines. The weird American athlete goes to weird country story is just too easy not to cover. Rodman himself seems to be thriving on finding a strange smidgen of relevance through his visit to North Korea, and perhaps a petty poor paycheck. Though often described as quite shy, he has always enjoyed challenging the values of Middle America. North Korea is providing him a new avenue to be in the spotlight. The most passive player in this tragic comedy is Rodman's home country, the United States. The U.S. State Department has deployed the rhetorical equivalent of an embarrassed teenager whose dad has shown up to dance at his prom. Something along the lines of "this has nothing to do with us" is what the State Department has said with every one of Rodman's trip. Last winter, the State Department criticized Rodman's timing as it followed a nuclear test and rocket launch. This time, it has merely said a private individual can do what he wishes. This is an understandably cautious position. After all, Rodman has professed his love and undying affection for Kim, and he's probably not a canny enough operator to spearhead any form of political outreach along the lines of the ping-pong diplomacy. On this trip, Rodman addressed the unavoidably political nature of a relationship with North Korea, saying his visits could open the doors to talk about certain things. In the CNN interview, he argued that it's a great idea for the world. Rodman's celebrated status and sporting prowess has given him access to Kim. At some point, when both the U.S. and North Korea governments are feeling a little brave, perhaps they can try to throw the ice with more professional diplomats tagging along on cultural or sporting exchanges. There are precedents. For example, the U.S.-China ping-pong diplomacy of the 1970s had its genesis in table tennis player by the name of Glenn Coleman. Once he broke the ice, the government began talking. The kind of engagement that Rodman is pitching cannot always be seen as merely reward for a naughty regime. As much as we appear locked into a carrot and stick way of thinking about relations with North Korea, it can be mutually beneficial. We have the potential to gain as much as they do. Breakthroughs might be sudden and surprising, but they are usually underpinned by creative thinking, dialogue, and the mutual acceptance that no one can get exactly what they want. Unfortunately, this particular trip does feel somewhat like a gift, coming as it does on Kim's birthday and less than a month after the violent and very public purge of his uncle and second-in-charge, John Song-tak. Had Rodman pulled out of delayed, the channel for opening may well have closed. If he really is in it for the long haul, he probably couldn't afford to cite the leader on his birthday. Domestically, it is great PR for Kim. He gets to appear gregarious and inclusive in front of his people. Notwithstanding Jan's execution, this is the image he has been assiduously cultivating. He is eager to promote his friendly, approachable image while at the same time enjoying watching some former stars play his favorite sports. For now, little will come out of Rodman's visits other than extraneous news, but as Pyongyang continues to devote resources and energies to sports development, its appetite for athletic exchanges will increase. Let's really hope to use Rodman's prowess, that this can open the doors to other things. Judge tentatively denies Michael Jackson wrongful death retrial. Los Angeles. The judge who presided over the Michael Jackson wrongful death trial last year has tentatively rejected the Jacksons' request for a new trial. The 6-month-long trial ended in October with a victory for AEG Live. The concert promoter Jackson's mother and children had claimed was liable for his death because it hired, retained, or supervised the doctor convicted of involuntary manslaughter in the death. Lawyers for mother Catherine Jackson argued that the verdict used by the jury was faulty and that the judge erred by refusing to let them pursue a negligence claim independent of the hiring case. Their motion for a new trial failed in December, including sworn statements from 4 of the 12 jurors saying they feel cheated by the outcome, which they blamed on a misleading verdict form. Jackson died from an overdose of the surgical anesthetic propofol on June 25, 2009, which Dr. Conrad Murray told police he used to treat the pop icon's insomnia as he prepared for a tour produced by AEG Live. Conrad Murray completes jail time for killing Michael Jackson. Los Angeles County Judge Fede Palazzolo issued a tentative ruling saying that she did not err in her decision on the verdict form with the dismissal of the negligence claim. She had the argument on Friday and is expected to make a final decision soon. Jackson lawyers have indicated that they will appeal the jury's verdict. AEG Live lawyers filed statements from 7 other jurors saying they were not confused by the verdict form. The jurors cited by the Jackson motion used the words stunned, upset, and shocked. When they were told they had to stop deliberation after a majority agreed that the answer was no to the second question on the verdict form. Was Dr. Conrad Murray unfit or incompetent to perform the work for which he was hired? One juror called the question a trap that prevented us from deliberating on the real issues for the case. After sitting through almost 6 months of the trial in this case, I believe that Mrs. Jackson had proven her case against A.G. Life. Another juror said, despite this fact, I had no way of voting in favor of the plaintiff because of the way that the verdict form was worded. Jackson lawyers, in their arguments for a new trial, contended that Palacios erred by denying their request to add the words "at any time" to the second question.